It's March the 2nd, 2018. I'm Dana Durnford, your host, TheNuclearProctologist.org. And you can find these videos and Fukushima presentations at The Nuclear Proctologist on YouTube. YouTube. You've seen a few meltdowns yourself today already. That's funny. It's an inside joke if you're not familiar with the way this has played out in the last couple of weeks. Going to the 2020 Tokyo Olympics is literally the stupidest contemplation anybody could have if you're willing to look at the documentation of what happened at the Fukushima nuclear meltdowns. They're going to hold parts of the Olympics where they had melter reactors ongoing meltdowns and picked up 30 million one-ton bags. Is not acceptable. They're sending children back in there. This is not acceptable. This is savagery. This is idiotic to even conceive. But we are live streaming at the Nuclear Proctologist. The comments section is open. And if you refresh your page, if you've been sitting on the video, you'll see comments will show up. And so we talk about everything nuclear. And today, after I got the site up and running, I went down to the boat to put the sail up on the boat. There's the boat in the corner there, the sailboat. And you can see a handful of porpoise going right across the entrance here. At the exact same time as I was walking up the wharf. It's so hard to find them anywhere, let alone right in front of your face at the head of the wharf. Just for that split moment, and you probably can't see it. Let me change formats where I can zoom in a little bit. You see them, not the best video, there they go. Right in front of the anchorage, or the wharf. Amazing. I was so proud and happy to see them today. Bless their hearts. And let's get on with this show. It's pretty straightforward. It's the first stream at TheNuclearProctologist.org. And so no miracles today. I'll just get out and tell the story of Fukushima for the day. And as we go through this story, you'll realize how dangerous it is to actually go to the Olympics. Let me turn the music down. And that's the end of it anyway, so we're right on schedule. Now, I know the last little while there's been a bit of an echo, and there's 2 volumes here. I had both of them up, so that created a big echo. So I got rid of that this morning. I finally figured out what was going on. We got hacked over the last couple of weeks, and we've been rebuilding the whole operation in increments, trying to keep everything afloat. And so today's story is going to convey that stuff for everybody. Just a quick note. Seems this is a new site. Please share it on your social networking sites if you have any. And without your help, there's no way to get the message out, no way to have a debate or a conversation. We were under siege from the nuclear industry and had our other site disabled 11 days before the Fukushima nuclear meltdown's 7-year anniversary and 2 years before the 2020 Olympics. And stay with me, we'll get it. Maybe. There you go. I just got to make number 1 a bit bigger, and I'll jump in the screen. That's not quite, that's not what we're going to have for a background. We'll get something going here any moment, any second. Hang on. I did have one picked out, but it slipped away on us. That's not it. We'll leave it there. Just something, a little motion in the background. Hi, everybody. Hugs, everybody. 7 years on, Fukushima Town gives school life DVD, but they're going to have the Olympics there. This is ludicrous stuff. Under a memorabilia program launched last year, DVD with content such as the current state of the northeastern town. See, this is brainwashing is all you're really looking at, trying to brainwash the youngsters. Ahead of the 7th anniversary of the accident, ahead of that, they also took down my site with 22,000 subscribers, and I now proudly have 54 subscribers instead of 22,000. Please click the bell in the top right-hand corner. I've been at this all day trying to get everything to work. It took me an hour and a half just to link up to my YouTube channel with the equipment, because there's always been that beautiful girl by Dana, right? And so, woo, I didn't know how to get to a different YouTube site and get it to stream. I was just like, oh my goodness. I'm so happy though to be streaming. It led to the nuclear accident, the worst ever in Japan. See, lying, disgusting, despicable media. It's actually the worst on the planet in the history of the solar system, period. Anyway, next story. Canadian solar nails 100. Now we got a lot of studies, peer-reviewed academic studies to cover tonight. Canadian solar nails $149 million loan. Nails alone. I guess they got to put something there to make himself feel human. And another story is, and just to go back to that one second. So why are you putting solar power in the most radiated place on the planet? Like, how can you send people there to do that so you can make some profit? How can you be that evil? Why can't you put it somewhere else? Why you got to grow food in the most radioactive place where people can't even live? Is Camco Corporation a boy? No. Period. No. To say that the uranium market have had to face challenges in recent years would be an understatement. The Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster, really? If that's all it was, I wouldn't be here. 2011 brought the industry to a halt. Brought the nuclear industry to the halt. Even raising concerns at one point whether companies like Camco that manufacture nuclear fuel and uranium will survive. What an interesting statement that is. I just thought that was such an interesting statement. Because why are you having Olympics where you almost, in the place where that almost finished nuclear, it really did, not almost, but it did finish nuclear. It's just some of the diehards are refusing to go down with the ship. We'll make them go down with it, so to speak. Wine to sake, Italian food meets sake. Now, what's interesting about this, Italians are going to get inundated by the looks of it with sake from the Fukushima Prefecture and other prefectures. Not just Fukushima Prefecture that's highly irradiated. And if you're familiar with this subject, mass deaths of species found around the Fukushima nuclear plant. They seem to have disappeared. Little no reproductive successes. That background, I got to change that. I want something moving in the background, but I'll get it in a second. One more try, hang on, my apologies. Some days are like that, eh? Where we just can't seem to get it to work. That's okay. There we go. I need that background because it's so hard for anybody to do. The fact that I can do it makes me better than, or not better, but makes me different than other people. Nothing makes me better than other people. It just makes me a little different than other people. Let's keep rolling. Little no reproductive successes. It is evident biota around the power plant has been affected since the nuclear accident. When you put all these together, they tell the story, so stay with us. Sea creatures disappears around Fukushima plant. According to the study, rock shells cannot be found in 16 locations, including 8 straight sites over 30 kilometers from the Futaba town just north of the stricken plant. 30 kilometers away, they still didn't find any fish, but they're planning on sending it to Thailand. Not planning, they're sending it to Thailand, and soon to follow everywhere else, right? After number 2, which is the only one that looks like it's intact, was destroyed, 90% of the workers fled the plant in mass desertion. You sure it wasn't reactor 3 that made them run away? I'm probably thinking it's reactor 3. Well, let's keep rolling. Fukushima, government official now, Fukushima should be declared uninhabitable. Conditions are getting worse. We have to move people away. We can't wait. And so why would you have the Olympics in the worst spot on the planet? Someone has to do something, just like the evacuation of children in World War II. Fukushima youths are ready to desert irradiated hometowns. No, they were supposed to be evacuated. But the nuclear industry immediately was trying to work out how to move everybody back so that nuclear wouldn't look bad. A momentous decision. 3 mayors in Fukushima refused to meet with the Japan officials. I strongly mistrust the government, and you should too. Another 4 of these headlines. Radioactive particle on the seafloor at over 1,000 times the normal level. Because when the buildings detonated, fuel rods went right out into the ocean. Smack out into that ocean, yeah? Government's afraid to tell the truth. Radiation 10 times higher than officials claim. Near Kyoto, 500 kilometers from the meltdown. So even Tokyo is off limit. If you're looking for radiation, you would never go to Tokyo because it's so radiated. It's not just hot spots here and there. It's the fog. It's the mildew. It's the pollen in the air. It's the air itself. Just the air blowing over the reactors become irradiated. And the reactors have been exposed for 7 years. They're hemorrhaging into the environment. If Japan had set the limit below 20 millisieverts a year, evacuation would have caused national level crisis. They believed that they had no choice but to expose residents to radiation. See, nuclear is not supposed to exist. You can't turn back the clock on what they've done. And you can't, these are all victims. It's heartbreaking that I gotta have another site. So I'm not gonna be re-uploading my videos, I don't think, to my other site. This is where we're gonna be making our stand, right here at the Nuclear Proctologist on YouTube. Till you shut that down and we'll have another site. I don't know what to do. I can't give it up and walk away from this. This is an event, and just because we're being trolled by a couple of people in the industry does not mean I give up. Complete information control. Japan's newspaper received much frightening info that's covered up. Some evacuees died from acute symptoms not yet reported. So this story really got under my skin. Fukushima tankfuls of tainted water forced tough calls on dumping. Tough call? Tough call. No, deception and misrepresentation and lies, deceit. So what, like for those tanks, Forbes, which is nothing but goblins, by the way, anybody that reads Forbes, you should be ashamed of yourself if you believe Forbes. How can Japan settle the issue of Fukushima Daiichi Tritium? This disgusting parasite says drink it, yet he won't drink it. In fact, it was 2 sievers, and 3 sievers is a deadly dose. They'll tell you, oh, 3 sievers, 50-50 will die in a month. 50% will die, the other 50% won't. Well, the other 50% would die within a few days of that. They all died. You just need a single exposure. So tritium. So Forbes says drink it, but studies say you can't. Safety environment. Tritium and tokamak dust are the main radioactive hazards of fusion reactors. But they talk about tritium. Tritium emits a low-energy beta ray with a half-life of 12 years. In other words, 10 times that is 120 years before it gets out of your body. It is hazardous if inhaled or ingested, but cannot penetrate the skin. Actually, it can. It goes in through your hair follicles. The tritium inventory in the fuel system. Now, before nuclear, there was about 100 kilograms of tritium from the solar system in our oceans. During atmospheric testing, we put in something like 1,300 kilograms of tritium into the ocean. So pre-nuclear, there was only 100 kilograms on the entire planet. Fukushima tankfuls of tainted water forced tough call, pouring diluted tritium, diluted. Now they're talking about diluted. See how they word this? Such disgusting people. Would trigger a backlash, but space is tight. Well, build another facility and transfer it there. Well, the problem is, a liter of this stuff is a lethal dose. They're not being honest with you. They're calling it tritium is all that's left in it. If tritium was all that was left, we still wouldn't allow you to dump it. Tritium toxicity, age-dependent radiosensitivity in mouse's testicles. Space, so in other words, studies showing how tritium is not harmless is all I'm doing for you. Space for storing treated but still radioactive water, they call it. It's not. It's 2 liters. I'm sorry, let me bring up the headline for you, because that makes sense for people a lot better sometimes than me. And so if I have a radio show with no pictures or graphics, then everybody will call me a lawyer. And if I do all the work and bring you the documentation, everybody doesn't understand how much work it takes. Let me bring up these 2 headlines. It'll give you a rough idea what you're talking about. 2 sieverts an hour, beta radiation emitted from a single liter of leaked water from the tanks. These are lethal doses right away. You die right away. If you try to drink that, like if I had that 2 liters in a room full of people, everybody would die within a short period of time in that room, within half an hour to an hour. I had that liter of water there. It's so radioactive. And the children, infants, got a full sievert in NAMI where they're trying to send children back to school. This is unconscionable. Now, mind you, only 4% of the children have gone back to school, been tricked and deceived to go back. But this is unconscionable that they would have the Olympics here also. So there's no way we're allowing that to happen. The risk of leukemia in young children from exposure to tritium is a real thing. See? Space for storing treated but still radioactive water. It's not treated. You can't treat it. If you try to use a filter to collect it, you can't get it in there and take the filter out because you'll get a lethal dose trying to get close to the filter, because the filter becomes hundreds of thousands of sieverts. It can't be done. You can't filter it. This is why they built all the tanks. This is why only the homeless are there. Tritium health physics considerations. Although tritium is not an external hazard, it is actually. It can present because it's water. So it goes into food. It's assimilated into your body. Like water goes into your skin, right? When you get a shower, you absorb 2 or 3 liters. So for them to say it's not able to get into through your skin is ridiculous, because it's there's a word for it. Well, assimilated in the water, but it is water. It's H3, right? So it's water. The radioactivity properties are shown, but this is not tritium, what's actually in there. Tritium is the least one to worry about, but tritium in this study, every one of these studies I show you, is very dangerous. So just on their ideology that it's only tritium, I can knock them down for sure. And this is what I'm going to do. Soon the government, utility, Tokyo Electric Power Company Holding will have to make a decision. Should they dump the water in the sea? Absolutely not. Pollution of ground sources of drinking water with tritium. See, so many studies on tritium because it's not innocuous or benign or harmless. About 1 million tons of treated water. Each of the tanks are 300,000 tons. So 3 tanks is 1 million tons. They got 1,100 tanks there, so they're lying to everybody endlessly, repeatedly, relentlessly, and on purpose to confuse the population about how much and the significance. experimental induction of bone tumors by short-lived bone-seeking radionuclides. So even the short-lived nuclides can give you bone tumors. Back to the study. Within 3 years, there's likely to be no room left for additional tanks. Well, you build tanks somewhere else, you work on development equipment to transfer it to the other spot, and you store it for 1 billion years. They say the solution to the ever-growing amount of water must be found so that the decommissioning of the damaged reactors can proceed. But it's not Harvard University academics or students or alumni or professors or nuclear scientists that are doing the decommissioning. It's not Yale students or nuclear students. It's not MIT nuclear students. It's not Sellafield. It's not any nuclear students. It's just the homeless and the destitute, folks. They're demons. We have to fight for the victims. We have to fight for the planet. We have to fight for every generation. We have to fight for our own lives right here, right now. Long live the man-made radionuclides in the soil plant system. The soil is the most important link in the migration pathway. So where does food grow? Oh, you know, in the soil. Do you get what I'm going to? Even after treatment of water in some 600 or 70% of the tanks, 600, so 600 times 300,000 tons. Each tank is 300,000 tons. But yet they say 1 million tons, which is only 3 tanks. 70% of the tanks still contain tritium. All the tanks contain tritium. Now they're claiming only 600 of 1,100 tanks are radioactive. Disgusting. It's such a disgusting industry. You're so disgusting. You're so despicable. You're so murderous. You're so evil. By the way, the problem with fusion energy, the big problem, besides you can't do it on this planet, that's what the sun does, is fusion. Nuclear is fission. But even with fusion on the planet, the big byproduct is tritium. And I'll show you more studies on it coming up. An isotope so weak that its radioactivity can be blocked by a piece of paper. Yeah, but we've seen, like, tritium is not a weak isotope like they're claiming. The stuff from the sun is a weak isotope, but the stuff from the chain reaction is not. Determinations of the 137 cesium-90 strontium-40K, which is potassium. Right? So they can't help but be evil. They had to put potassium-40 in the same study as man-made radionuclides, like 137 cesium and 90 strontium, to get any funding in food grain and commercial food grain product. Most endangered food products are plants, including commonly grown grain, which constitutes a basic feeding component for both people and animals. And so, indeed, large amounts of 137 cesium, 90 strontium. They didn't put 40 there. See, potassium 40, everything on the planet is already acclimated through genetic superior selection. Nothing is acclimated through 137 and 90 strontium. And strontium is a bone sinker. By the way, 137 cesium also ionizes and radiates your thyroid glands. So it's pretty despicable they would put potassium 40. That's the only way they can get funding, was to make the study so it's confusing. Releasing this water into the ocean is considered the most practical answer to a handful of monsters. Nobody else on the planet that was informed about tritium or the actual isotopes that we're talking about, which is, the water is not just tritium. Once again, you can't filter the water because you can't get near the filter. Accumulation of radionuclides by associate bacteria, an uptake of 134 cesiums, which once again are tracers, but inoculated barley plants. So we know there's so many studies showing how plants, including rice and everything else, and strawberries and fruit trees and vegetables and potatoes, how they uptake the radionuclides. So why would you grow it there? How could you be that stupid and vicious and maniacal and twisted and spineless to grow it there? Well, if you're nuclear, the whole ideology of nuclear is to kill the planet. No maybes about this. In 2016, the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry estimated that the discharge could be carried out in the trade The Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry. Not nuclear scientists, not nuclear academics, not nuclear institutions, not peer-reviewed academic studies, but the Ministry of Economy and Trade and Industry. These people are appointed. Like, it's all going to fall apart in the very near future. The whole shit and caboodle, because the current situation in our political sphere is nothing but goblins from the industry to protect the industry. And they'll kill the planet. They'll kill this planet rather than admit we got a problem. In fact, it's highly suspect that it really appears they are apparently trying to kill the planet. Hi, everybody. Thank you, everybody, that managed to find us. Our first stream. Humans drink radioactive milk. Milk is not radioactive unless it comes from a nuclear fallout. That's deadly milk. And we've covered the radioactive milk. In 2000... Yeah, let's go. So, interaction of fungi, radionuclides in the soil. So it falls out of the sky and then lands in the soil and is uptaken by the food that we're going to eat. It's the stupidest, most disgusting thing imaginable. Hi, Lane. And Nye. Hi, everybody. Amthurst, Jace, Amy. Hi, everybody. I want to say hi for a second because we can do shit like that, can't we? That's so cool. Hi, Millie. Hi, Debbie. Amthurst. Patrick. Hi, Patrick. Hi, everybody. Thank you, everybody. And Sean Oliver, the nuclear fallout covered everything on the planet. Yeah. Absolutely. And, you know, the first thing we got to admit is Fukushima is bad, and then we can admit the rest of the planet is bad. Hi, MGB. Hi, everybody. Yeah. Sook, I banned him on my other site today. I don't like the name, and I don't like the things they're saying. There's no need to be like that. That's not what we're about. Hi, everybody. Hi, Joe. Joe found his way. Hi, Joe. Everybody found their way here. I'm so happy to see everybody. I really am. Well, this is one big family we got here, right? Isn't it? Look at that. Dana Durnford, lying, scamming idiot. But see, I don't... Hi, Rhea. Like, so disgusting that this is the only way they can attack me is like that. How despicable and desperate are they to do stuff like that? How pathetic to do stuff like that? How childish and immature to do stuff like that? Hi, Jeff. Hi, everybody. I just wanted to say hi to everybody because this has really hurt me that this was done to me, that I'm forced to have another site now. This is like unbelievable. Hi, Biddy, too. And let's get on with the show. Hi, Robert. Hi, everybody. Spirit Destiny. I got a full house here tonight. I wasn't expecting everybody to find me tonight. We have to build up the audience again. Hi, Joe. We have to start from scratch. Lean, the trolls are always childish and mature, Dana. Right you are. So we only got a short stream tonight. Let me see how much I got left. Not much. Well, there's a bit left, but not very much. And yeah, not much more. We'll skip through the rest of it. I've had just an incredible tough day. Just to get the trailer out this morning, get everything back up and running. I'm not going to bother explaining it, but it's a nightmare. And then 3 o'clock, I went down and put the sail up on the boat because I had to take it down and sew the front sail. Renee, don't worry about putting any logos on the sail. Just ship it out to me. If you got it done or you're able to do it or when it's completed, just go ahead and ship it to me. Let me know that it's on the way. Don't worry about, because you work so hard just to get that far. I wouldn't worry about putting anything on the sale. I know you're not very healthy, and don't put yourself through the stress. The government utilities are well aware that pouring tainted water in the sea would only fuel mistrust. See, they call it tainted water. So right away, that shows you how deceptive and disgusting they really are. How dare them describe radiated water at 2 sieverts? So a gallon is a lethal dose just to walk past it. The product of ionizing radiation, tritium transmutation formed in the DNA. See, and if tritium was the only thing there, it's still not safe. And tritium is considered the weakest isotope out there to the apologists. But when you actually go down the road like I do, you discover that it's not. None of it, in other words, none of it is weak. All of it is very, very scary. Yeah, thank you, Joe. Joe knows what it's all about, unfortunately. Joe has been victimized by the industry himself and his mom and his friends, I'm sure. They are looking for ways to keep rumors in check. And hugs for your mom, Joe. They are looking for ways to keep the rumors in check here on my story. Nothing to do. Radioactive releases from nuclear power plants during normal operations. See? So this is why there's 6 times more breast cancer around nuclear power plants. This is why there's so many illnesses around nuclear power plants. Let me see if I can bring up some of those headlines. And just because we're recovering, they took down my site, right? Took my ability away to stream, where I have 22,000 subscribers, 11 days before the 7th anniversary. Just 1 second now. I just want to bring up some. Here we go. I'll bring up 6 of these headlines. Top radiation experts, 50 becquerels a kilogram in humans lead to irreversible lesions in the vital organs. But they're releasing food at 100 becquerels a kilogram. So you can be sure anybody eats it, they're going to get unbelievable illnesses before they die. And let me make that a bit smaller. Obviously, that's a little hard to read. Top cancer doctor, nuclear radiation, most carcinogenic thing that exists. And how low doses of radiation cause heart diseases and strokes. A child's risk of cancer from radiation 10 to 100 times higher than an adult with the same exposure. So if you got 100 becquerels for people, the children are going to be impacted 10 to 100 times sooner. So it's imperative that we end nuclear, period. We have to end nuclear. There's no middle ground on this one. Cleared at low level, contamination probably more dangerous than a single dose. Grasshoppers with deformed wings, gray eyes, not reds. Birds with abnormal sperm, strange large tumors. MD, infant deaths are also up in BC, Canada. We've seen the emaciated bird I was showing pictures of here yesterday. At never again in Fukushima. On January the 31st, TEPCO announced a plan to prevent damaging rumors about the agricultural and marine products from Fukushima. Damaging rumors. This is just a handful of corporations, folks, trying to destroy the planet so they can make a couple of nickels. It's shocking. Tritium environmental risks in future fusion reactors. Because they can't, the problem is, they can't control the incredible massive amount of releases of the tritium and which is disguise, really, of all the other isotopes. So before nuclear existed, there was around 100 kilograms of tritium, natural tritium, in the environment and all the oceans combined. Once again, during the peak of nuclear testing, they estimated that around 12, 13, 1,400 kilograms of tritium was put into the ocean. So for billions of years, the most we had was 100 kilograms, and with just the nuclear testing. But nuclear power releases tritium all the time. These reactors, they can't have fusion reactors. They can't have the hybrid reactors they're talking about because of the massive tritium releases into the community, the environment. This includes assistance with securing nationwide sale routes for the product. So why are they growing food? What they're talking about is growing food in Fukushima, the most radiated place on the planet, and nobody would buy it. So now the government is working hard to ship it somewhere where people don't know any better. And this is why we fight every day. This is why we go to battle every day. This is why we got up every single day. This is why, and I know this is why you're here, because you understand that we are the resistance. We are the future. We are who humanity will look back to with great admiration, that we were able to see and stay the course, and that people had made so many sacrifices. And I'm determined that none of this will ever be untold, that the story will be known. It's a selfless job, right? And the industry is so hateful. And like, to do the things I'm doing in particular, like, I'm not allowed to make a mistake. I'm not allowed to be wrong. I'm not allowed. And all you can do is make fun of me. They make fun of the way I talk or the way I look or something like that. But they can't argue the science. They can't argue the information that I provide as I'm talking. And so that drives them over the deep end, because they're scared shitless that their friends and families are going to find out who they are, that they're monsters, that nuclear is terrible and they're nothing but disgusting parasites. Yeah, shocking, eh? So they're coming back at me with all the old accounts I blocked on the other side. Isn't this something? Anyway, let's keep rolling. They're so desperate to get at me. And Lane is working double time tonight. Bless you, Lane. My apologies. My apologies. They got me sidetracked now. No, Elaine's already knocked them out. You go, Elaine. Let's keep rolling. Let's finish it out. We haven't got much more. And so what I'm basically, tonight is the first stream on our news site. And it's been such a long day trying to make everything work and get it. By Monday now, we'll be back up to normal cruising speed, if there's such thing as a cruising speed around here. It is impossible to wipe out harmful rumors without the involvement of the state and the local government. So how is 30 million one-ton bags, which is fine, you put this bag, one of these bags is all you can put into those great big pickup trucks in your community. You know, the big $50,000, $60,000 pickup trucks? The only weight they can carry is a ton, right? Which is one of those bags. And they picked up 30 million of them. So 30 million one-ton trucks, bumper to bumper, where you can't walk between the truck. There's 5 rows of traffic right around the planet. And this is just a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a percent of what they need to pick up. So how could you ever trust nuclear after this? Like, how can you grow food there where the bags are? Because this is what they're doing. Black smoke billows from number 3 containing plutonium. We don't know the reason. Well, the reactor core was blown out of the building, and the fuel pools, let me bring up some depictions of that very quick because we're almost through. The fuel pools, and Here's reactor 3. I'm going to bring up just 5 pictures. So you got the comparison. So the reactor runs all the way up to the top of the building. At the top of the building is the reactor cores. That's what you're going to be eating if you eat food from Fukushima, and that's what you're going to be breathing if you go there for the Olympics. Anybody goes to Japan, including Tokyo, for the Olympics, you will get very ill within a few years of that, if not right away. You can actually, if you're down there in the environment and you eat a sandwich that's contaminated from these areas, you can get leukemia that day. Leukemia is in your blood, right? Your blood is overtaken by white blood cells because you have so much radiation. Your body has to attack it with white blood cells. It instantly displaces your red blood cells. So nuclear is extremely dangerous immediately. As you can see, reactor 3 and its reactor cores are all gone. So about 20 reactor cores in this one building. Chernobyl was 1/3 the size and never had reactor cores stored in idiotic pools. The people who designed this building should be dug up and prosecuted. If they're dead, if they're alive, they should be prosecuted. This is the most dangerous thing a person can do. Somebody should be held accountable. You should start with the engineers. So 2 days later, at a panel discussion organized by the Trade Ministry. So not nuclear experts, nuclear scientists, nuclear academics. No. But trade ministers are now the arbiter of people's lives. This is the most despicable thing imaginable. You can't check fish with a Geiger counter. If you find it, it's on the outside per se. Yeah, there are radiation that'll pulse right through a fish, but you're not going to find all the radiation is what I mean by this. In other words, this TARP is all bags, 1-ton bags. There's 120,000 sites at 30 million 1-ton bags. Either way, another panel participant warned that releasing the water is unlikely to go over well, as public understanding of the radioactivity has yet to take hold. In other words, we won't accept that what they claim, because they claim that nuclear is harmless, that it's like a banana or walking in sunshine, getting on an airplane, sleeping next to somebody. It's good for you. It's natural. It's everywhere. It's like climbing a mountain. It's like the radiation from the sun. And these are 74 years of endless lies that are ending. So they picked up these bags to trick the Olympics to go to Japan. They picked up the bags to trick people into going back. Only 4% were foolish enough to go back. They picked up the bags at incredible expenses, and then the victims were given nothing. They took all the money that were meant for the victim and spent it on the propaganda machine and the vicious thugs. Like, where is humanity? We are missing humanity. The reality, they claim, is that the tritium-tainted water is routinely dumped into the oceans from nuclear plants around the world. This is because no one's paying attention. This is because no one is holding accountable. This is because nobody spoke up. This is because nobody's doing what I'm doing and showing the documentation. You picked up 30 million 1-ton bags. You can see all the green growing out of them. You can't move these bags somewhere else. They'll fall apart. They're only meant to last a year at most, or 2. This is radioactive pollen, real radioactive pollen growing right out of the bags. This is an event and we got to deal with it. We can't pretend it's not happening another second. In cases of Japan, before the 2011 disaster, an average of 380 trillion becquerels of tritium was dumped across the nation every year. 380 trillion becquerels. This is not accurate. See, a gram has 88 times 78 billion atoms in a gram. So they're saying like a gram a year is dumped across the nation. Folks, this is the most ludicrous industry, the most disgusting industry, the most twisted and spineless industry imaginable. The government allows such water to be released as long as the density of tritium does not equal 60,000 becquerels per liter. So if they got a liter after liter that's 60,000, they just dump a little water and then now it's legal. These people should be hung from the top of the buildings immediately. These are the most scum, the worst people imaginable that are doing that. It's disgusting. Because everybody's sleepwalking and let them get away with it. Now that the light is shining on them, they're panicking. 30 million one-ton bags. The water in the Fukushima tanks has the density of about 1 million becquerels per liter. No, it's 2 sieverts per liter. 2 sieverts. This is lethal water. Just nothing but lie after lie after lie. 30 million one-ton bags. So disgusting what they got done. The nuclear regulator's chairman insists it is safe to dump the water. The nuclear regulator's chairman... Never mind, I was just going to say something pretty foul, but these are the worst people imaginable. You really think somebody whose job is dependent upon the nuclear industry is going to criticize nuclear? This is the reality you're looking at. 30 million, 120,000 sites like this. How can anybody be so stupid to have nuclear anywhere on the planet? Everybody that's involved in the nuclear industry should be summarily executed legally, publicly. Everybody. You're nothing but a pack of disgusting parasites. The nuclear students, the nuclear academics, the nuclear scientists, the lobbyists, the stock market, the uranium mines. You're nothing but incredible cowards. You're truly cowards. You're 100% childish cowards. And how many thumbs down now? Every night they come to my video right away, late at night, and give me 35 thumbs down or so, 40 thumbs down, to try to sway you not to watch my video. How disgusting. How cowardly can you possibly be to do something like that? Hang on. Really? 22 thumbs down? 22 thumbs down already. Not from 22 people, but from one person with 22 accounts. The government just opens up endless ghost accounts and troll accounts and spams the shit out of me in order to try to fool you and trick you and deceive you. It's such a coward thing to do. The fishery industry official in the Fukushima city of Minnesota said releasing the water would disrupt trial fishing. You're not supposed to be fishing there, you piece of shit. You're not even supposed to be there, you dummy. Look at it. 30 million one-ton bags. He picked up the bags to move people in there. And then he put a Porsche in the background, as if that's somehow bling. Like you really, truly are the most evil people on the planet. You can destroy the whole planet with just a couple of nuclear power plants. Why do you exist? How come you do no good? How come you're so dark? Well, something must be done about the water once the decision is made to dump it. Really? Why not put it in another area? Because you got to pay for it. And then you got to pay for it every few years to upgrade it. And so killing the ocean is no big deal to you because you make a few dollars. You should be gutted right on the side of the road by the population. From securing official approval and reaching out to residents to building a pipeline. They want to build a pipeline in the ocean so they can just pipe it out. You think Harvard or MIT University or Yale University or Stanford University are the ones down here? Really? Then you don't know nothing. 7 years after the disaster, time limit for the decision is nearing. You can't even grow food. And your rice fields where you're growing food, no one eats it, and so you got to trick everybody and ship it somewhere else. Why are you growing it? Why are you shipping it somewhere else? Why are you so dark? Why are you so demented? Why are you so twisted? Why are you so spineless? Why are you so vicious? So officials are contemplating how to ease the anxiety. Anxiety! Officials! All these officials should get their throats slit. When it comes to radioactivity, science and rationality alone cannot win public understanding, a cabinet idiot machine official said. Fukushima farmers are struggling, says the two monkeys in suits. Disgusting parasites. The most radioactive place on the planet. They're complaining because people don't want to eat the food grown alongside the bags. I got 6 more pictures or something, a couple of headlines. What's the last? There's 2 more. The Trade Ministry panel, who knows nothing about nuclear, has no concept of these bags, no understanding, is making the decisions. Put together a list of tasks with marks such as a sense of security requires science plus something extra. We should issue a message to dispel misunderstanding among neighboring countries. Fukushima exports fish, first fish consignment since the nuclear disaster. 120 kilograms or so, the most radiated place on the planet. Japan on Thursday exported a consignment of fish caught off the coast of Fukushima to Thailand. It's only like 120 pounds. This is nothing in actual, for a fisherman. A fisherman wouldn't even go out to get 110 kilograms. How are you going to make a living doing something like that? But they done it as a public relation, because public relation firms are your worst enemy, period. Right? They got to ship it somewhere because that's how evil works. They're so evil to grow it in the first place. How can you grow it in places like this and then complain because nobody wants it? How do you get that evil? How do you get that disgusting? How do you get that twisted? How do you get that heartless? How do you get that stupid? Well, it's easy. You just join the nuclear industry. That's what the nuclear industry is. Heartless, spineless, and stupid. And a whole lot of other words I can't say in public without pissing off somebody. And so that's the first stream on the news site. Links are below the video. Please donate. Please fund these expeditions, this operation. It's so hard to do anything. And the minute that I have a disruption, everything falls apart on me. And I have to work till I'm sick to my guts to get it up and running again. And it's not right. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm just trying to bring some sense of reality to the conversation. And the reality is a monster and they should be dealt with. That's what nuclear is. Nuclear is 100% a goblin. Nothing less than a goblin. It's so disturbing that they attack me the way they attack me. It's not going to change anything. I'm not going to go away. I'm not going to be stopping or slowing down. It's just so disgusting that you're like that your people could attack me that way. That you're so spineless, you're so heartless, you're such monsters, and you hide away. Unlike me, I don't hide away. I'm Dana Durnford, TheNuclearProctologist.org. I do not hide from anybody. I'm in Powell River, British Columbia. I don't buckle down for cowards. I don't bend over for useless mouthpieces because someone called them official. I knock you out. I knock you fucking out. I catch you. I stomp your guts out. I kick your teeth down your fucking throat. I catch you. That's why you're scared of me. Because there's going to be a million just like me in the near future. And it's going to be epic. The near future is right now, mister. Hugs for everybody. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Alexander. Oh, you're gone. Scumbag. Unbelievable scumbags. Thank you, Elaine. My apologies to everybody that got to put up with that nonsense. We will win this battle. We will stand tall before the man. We have nothing to fear. They are cowards. Their world is crumbling, and their families will turn on them and deal with them soon enough. They can't show their faces like me or you because they're cowards. God bless you. Love every one of you folks. Thank you all for finding the time and the energy to hear the truth. And as next week goes on, I'll settle down into the new gig and we'll get some real good streams in. I look forward to the challenges of putting these streams together every day, because I think that is the future is the informed population, and when the population is informed enough, the world will stand tall and fight for its life. Hugs for everybody. We'll see everybody Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, British Columbia, Canada time, right here at at the Nuclear Proctologist on YouTube. Thanks for everybody.